Boom, this is your Captain HB coming to you this morning to get your day started. Yes, indeed, I got a work from home Tuesday, and I am your captain for inspiration this morning. But we're going to do something a little bit different this morning. Today is not going to be me giving the training. Today is going to be you giving me instructions on where you want to go today. And so I'm going to play a little theme music right here, and you guys will be able to see how this morning is going to go. I've got about 15, no more than 20 minutes to rock you, to sock you, to put you in the right direction. We got the request line that's coming today. Yes, we do. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? New York, can y'all handle this? Come with it, somebody said, huh? That's right, Captain Bugs is in the house today. That's right. That's right. We got the request line today. I'm gonna play that one more again. Y'all ready? That's right. DJ Captain Bug is in the house. That's right. Some of y'all might be at work, get into the groove. Your boss might look at you, but that's okay. Just let them know you excited. You are fired up. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. That's right. Somebody said work it. Somebody said twerk it. That's what I'm talking about. This is how I feel this morning. All right, that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we're going to do it today. Here's what we're going to do. I've got my two assistants on the call right now. I've got T Greasy and MK. Those are my two assistants right now. I am your DJ for inspiration today. So here's what I need my DJs to do. I just thought about this on the fly. My DJs will take the request that you give because they will look at the chat. Now here's how we're gonna do this, T Greasy. MK, here's what I need you to do. Now I've got MK on the wheels of steel, and I got T Greasy, who's my right-hand assistant over here. You guys will be able to put a word of inspiration in the chat, and I'm gonna use that word, and I'm gonna use every letter of the word and do a training spelling out every letter of the word. Now, here's what I don't want you to do. Don't be greedy today. Don't go out and give me supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because we don't have time for that, all right? So now, here's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and put a word of inspiration, whatever it is that you want to put in the chat, and I'm going to wait for T Greasy. T Greasy will give you the green light, and I will begin that training from your request. T Gray, it is on you.
And today's first word is, it's going so fast, I can't even pick a word. Focus.
Focus, 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 focus. All right, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about focus. First of all, I want to let you know what focus actually stands for. The first word stands for follow. Follow, follow, follow. That means that you've got to make sure that you choose a leader and then you become a leader. And when you follow, now I'm going to wrap this all up and spell the word, and I'm going to give you the entire meaning, and you're going to be like, wow, how did he do this so fast? Because this is what I do. I am your captain. Follow. You got to make sure that you become a leader and that you follow a leader. Why? Because somebody is looking for you to set an example. What does that mean? That means F stands for you have got to move first. You've got to be there first. When you go out there first, other people will stand in line and follow you. So many people are waiting for their groups to go out there and show the plan. So many groups are waiting for their teams to go out there and duplicate. But what they're looking for is a leader to follow. They're looking for their leader or someone to move first. So the first letter in follow will be first. Now, one of the other things that you can look at for follow is follow one course until successful. Focus. Follow first. Two letters I gave you. Follow one course until successful stands for focus. So now let's talk about the O. The O is the optics. The optics of the business. Now, what we've done is we go out there and we present the optics of the business so that you don't have to do a whole lot of hard work. We've got DJ MK over there who takes all of our branding and he takes all of our social media, all of everything that we do from a marketing position, and he gives the optics of a very successful multi-billion-dollar business. So number one, you've got the ability to follow us, and then we're going to give you the optics. Now let's talk about the word C, courage. You've got to have the courage to go out there and make things happen. It's up to you. We can move first. We can also give you the optics, but what we can't do is give you that motivation. We can't give you that courage. How do you get courage? Hang around other people who got more courage than you. The letter U in focus stands for understand. You've got to understand and you've got to utilize. Understand and utilize our system. We put a system in place for a reason. Why? Edwin Haynes told you yesterday, system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Now, after the U, then you've got S. See, when you do all of that, what is left? Success. That means that when you go first and when you follow and when you pay attention to the optics, when you have the courage, when you understand and utilize, you will be realizing your success. DJ T Greasy, give me another one, baby.
And your next word is light.
Light. Is that L-I-G? Is that L-I-T-E or is that L-I-G-H-T?
You don't get the easy way out today. It's L-I-G-H-T.
L-I-G-H-T, that's the easy way out, baby. Now let's talk about light. First of all, the first letter in light is L. Here's what you got to do. And if you don't see this in myself, if you don't see this in your GMA, if you don't see this in T Greasy and MK, you ain't been watching. You got to love this thing. You've got to fall in love with this business. You got to fall in love with your people. When people see you coming, what they need to feel before you get there is this big iBüümerang hug. They got to know that way across the room that you're hugging them even though you can't get to them at this moment because you're showing them that type of love. I didn't say like. Sometimes you may not like what you got to do, but you got to fall in love with it. Now, let's go to the I, inspiration. You got to be inspired. I talked to you also about inspiration. Is the same way you get inspiration is the exact same way that you get courage. Hang around other people who are inspired. You want to know the number one way to get inspiration? 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Get on the morning inspiration call. Let's go to G. G, you got to get great. Not good, but you have got to get great at something. But remember, when you start off, you might be bad. And then from bad, you go to good. And then from good, you're going to go to great. But you got to get great at something. Some people are great at showing the plan. Some people are great at prospecting. Some people are great at talking about the travel. Some people are great at sending the I decide. Some people are great at just being able to meet people and shake a person's hand, make them feel good. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. Don't try to be good at everything. Make sure that you're great at least one thing. You've got to be a meaningful specific, not a wandering generality, which means you've got to become a specialist. People say, well, HB, what are you great at? My greatest asset that I have is belief. It's not talking on stage. It's not taking words like this. This I can do in my sleep. But what I am great at is believing. Why can I do this? Because I believed I could. Many of you probably will say, well, you know what? They throw me some words that I couldn't understand. That's why you can't do it. I believe that I can do it. There's not one task that you can throw at me that I don't believe I can't overcome. So you've got to be great. Now let's go to the H. Don't try to be Holton. That's one of the biggest issues that some people fail at. Why? There's only 3 of us that I know of. There's Holton Bugs Sr., there's HB Jr., and there's Holton Bugs III. There are no more Holtons. There are no more Jose Luises. There are no more Cesar Munozes. There are no more Peter and Karen Hershey's. There are no more Johnny Wembrys. There are no more Emmanuel Bernsteins and all of these different diamonds that we have, Trey Harris, and there are no more. Don't try to be Holton. Every time you try to be Holton, you're going to be a second-class Holton, but you can always be a first-class you. Let's talk about the T. You always got to put team first, ladies and gentlemen. Put team first. It's always this, the team comes before my team. DJ T Greasy, throw something at me that I can't handle, baby.
No. I don't think there's anything out there that you can't handle, but here's a really good one for you today, HB. You got the word trust.
Trust. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Trust. Number one, let's talk about the T. You got to go out there and talk to some people, baby. You got to go out there and run your mouth and talk to some people. But here's a couple things that I want you to know about talking. When you go out there and you talk to some people, they're going to know that you are a walking, talking billboard. But you got to know, what are you going to be talking about? So don't go out there and just blab, but you do have to go out there and talk. We got a saying in the hood, closed mouths don't get fed. Go out there, open your mouth, go out there and say a couple of things. Let people know you're in business. My question for you right now is this: does your neighbor know that you're in business? If your neighbors don't know that you're in business, it must mean that you haven't had enough people to take over their parking spaces yet. All of my neighbors know that HB is in some kind of business around here. All of my neighbors, or the majority of my neighbors, are wishing HB find somewhere else to stay. Why? Because HB is going out there talking. He's building a real big business. The A stands for attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about attitude. I woke up this morning inspired. I gave the T. Gray and Mark, I said, hey, listen, I'll take over the call. They said, well, we've got it. I said, okay, no problem. I'll give it back to you. But we had already promoted for me to do the call. And you know what? I said, I'm coming to deliver. Edwin Haynes yesterday teed us up, fired me up, inspired me. I'm sitting over there like, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. Some people sit on the sidelines of life and they're like, okay, I'm going to win the championship while my teammates go out there and score for me. But you've got to have the attitude of gratitude. Remember, attitude, it's not what happens to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's about what happens through you. That's what I'm talking about. It's about what happens through you. Now go back, T-Gray. What was my word again?
I know. I was like, what word are you on now? Trust.
I've done the T and I've done the A. What was it again?
The word is trust.
Trust. Why am I saying? I'm spelling talk, which is my first one. Right? It's okay. I'll do talk and I'll do trust. I'll do both of them together. But let's go back and let's do the R. Number one, you got to be ready. All right. T-R. You got to be ready. My question for you is this: if you had a Daniel and Talita that was joining your business today, would you be ready? And they said, hey, listen, I am ready to rock and roll. Are you ready? Now, I'm not saying, are you going to get ready when they come? I'm saying, are you ready? Have you gone through the system? Have you listened to all 6 of the I decides to get them started, knowing exactly what it is that they need? Have you placed your order for your next event so that you can promote them for the next event? I'm not saying, oh, Corona is here, I don't know if we're going to have an event. Are you ready? Are you ready? If Corona was over tomorrow, do you now have to make a decision to go get a ticket, or have you already gotten your ticket knowing that we're going to defeat Corona anyway? This too shall pass. It will pass, but are you ready? Have you gone ahead and signed up for your Vault personal development system that we put together? It's $19.99 a month, and we don't start charging your second payment until 6 months from now. Have you done that? Are you ready? Which means that if somebody like a Daniel and Talita was sitting out there waiting, looking, finding, somebody like a Jayla Pippins out there and Jackie Pippins was sitting out there waiting, saying, I'm looking for a sponsor, do you think that they're going to sign up with somebody who's getting ready to get ready, or somebody who is ready? Somebody who is ready. The you in trust. The you in trust. It's all about you. It's about you. I ain't talking about Y-O-U. I'm talking about you. About what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You ever heard that saying that if it is to be, it is up to me? S stands for you got to take a stand. You've got to take a stand. Some people are going to come to you and tell you, well, you know, this business is just like all of those other things. Let me ask you a question. Do they win that conversation, or do you win? I want you to remember, in every conversation, you've got a buyer and you've got a seller. If you got a buyer and you've got a seller, S, you gotta be the seller. Don't be the buyer, ladies and gentlemen. You have got to be the seller. I am always selling you on my belief system. I am not buying what yours is. Why? Because I am connected to somebody who's got a bigger belief system than me. And if I buy your success system or belief system, I'll have what it is that you have. And so remember, I am always the one who's gonna be selling in every conversation, buyer and seller. The last word is T, and I got to go back and I got to do team as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to put the time in. This is not a business where we say, 5 to 10 hours per week and you become a millionaire. You got to put the time in. That's just what you got to do. Put that time in. What time do you have to be? Let me break down the time for you. Here's what I know. Out of a whole full day, you're going to spend, you're going to invest, not spend, but you're going to invest. You should be investing specifically for brand new people, showing the plan and talking about the product. You're showing the plan. That means if you're sending I-decides, if you're doing good parties, if you're doing boom parties, hotel meetings, whatever it is, however it is that you show the business, the majority of your time should be in what I call the creative stage in the business. Creative stage of the business does not mean that you're creating your own flowers. It means that you're creating business. So here's what should be happening per week: 7 to 10 hours of creating. This is for those people who are like what I call part-time, really part-time. 7 to 10 hours of creating the business, showing the plan, talking about iBoomerang. Another 3 to 5 hours is going to be following up, following through. This is with your prospects, not with your customers. The fortune is in the follow-up. And so when you're putting time in, this is how you break your time down. 3 to 5 hours per week, following up, following through. And then the next few hours of your business should be involved in personal development and making sure that you are promoting for whatever is going on. We've got Boom TV schedule. We've got Top Gun University. You guys should be promoting this like it's the first episode of Atlanta Housewives. You know how many people you talked to about the first episode, or maybe the second one when you saw the first episode. You need to be promoting this like it's power, okay? You let everybody know. You go on social media and you let them know who killed ghosts. Some of you probably don't know what I'm talking about power. But you went out there, who killed ghosts? And everybody in your social media know it. But when it comes to Top Gun University, you're keeping it a secret. And guess what? When it's time for you to graduate, nobody will be there. Go out there and let everybody know that you've enrolled into a new university. I've been sending out our Top Gun University schedule specifically since they put it out and made it so nice and pretty. I send it out to people who are not even in iBoomerang. To people who are not even in iBoomerang. I need to finish up the other one. Give me easy.
Oh man, you are firing it. You're killing it, Cap. All right, Captain.
Oh man, I am your captain.
The captain is speaking.
I am the captain over here.
Yes, sir. All right, somebody dropped one of my favorite words in the chat, so I got to throw it out to you. And that word is.
Hold on. Let's refire some of these people up. Come on. Come on, hit your table. Do your dance. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. That's right. Tawana says she's rolling over there. That's right. I told you, y'all not gonna sleep on my watch. You're not gonna sleep on my watch. If your day don't get started today, if you don't have an incredible day today, guess what? It means your internet died during this call. That's what I'm talking about. T Greasy, I'm ready to rock and roll.
I'm still dancing over here. All right, here's your word. You ready? The word is a word that describes you and all of our people. Champion.
Champion. Oh, okay. Now, maybe I have to write this one down. Y'all know I read slow, so I'm going to have to write this one down and not forget what my letters are. Let's go and talk about the C. First of all, the C stands for character. Character. People ask me, what is my number one characteristic that I guide or choose mentorship when I mentor people? I don't care about how good you are. I don't care about your volume. That's what I do. I create volume. I don't want you because your volume. I choose you, and one of the number one prerequisites is character. Before I enter the mentoring relationship, I've got to know is this someone that I can duplicate my beliefs through? Now, character to me is like a farmer saying, I am about to go out here and plant some seeds because I want to harvest. Normally when you plant a seed, and if I plant one seed, I don't expect one apple. When I plant one seed, I'm expecting an orchard. So if I'm expecting an orchard, why would I take one seed and put it into some ground or some soil that's not fertile? The integrity of that soil is not sound. It is not solid. It is not whole. It is not nutrient rich. So I'm not going to take all that I have, and I know the value of what I've learned. I know the value of what's up in here. So why would I take everything that I have, my time, my energy, my money, and mentor you, take my seeds that's up here? Because when I pour into you, I am expecting a harvest of diamonds to come. But why would I put it into you if your soil is bad? You've got to have great character. Now, let's talk about H. H, I don't know if I've done H already, but here's what you've got to do. You've got to pick a hero. You've got to find who is going to be your hero in the business. I remember when I first got started, I identified with someone who inspired me, and sometimes it's not always your upline. I never forget, I had a gentleman by the name of John Crow, who was never in my upline. I've never met him. I've never seen him in person, but I resonated with him. He was my MLM hero. Now, I never followed John Crow's system. Why? Because I followed my own upline system. I never plugged in Crossline. I got inspiration from Crossline. I never went to my Crossline and asked, how should I do this? Or give me a technique to do this. Why? Because my upline had a vested interest in my success. But what I did is I went out there, ladies and gentlemen, and I chose my hero, and I would listen to all of his inspirational stories because it actually resonated with me. A, you've got to make sure that you have access. How do you have access? Make sure that you plug in, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure if there's a contest that you've got to win the contest. Ask the people who were on the Keys to the Vault mentorship call that we did the other day. It was a 2 hour, actually 2 hours and 47-minute call, supposed to be 2 hours. Ask them, having access to that, what difference did it make in their skill base and their belief level and their confidence after they've actually left that particular call? Do they feel more empowered? Is their group now, do their group feel the energy that came from it? M, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to make the magic happen. You've got to make the magic happen. In the very beginning, if you want to learn how to make the magic happen, hang around others who have the magic. You've got to make the magic happen. There's certain people who walk into the room and they light that room up like a Christmas tree. Why? They've got the magic. You want to know how they have the magic? Magic doesn't come from being a magician. Magic comes from work. You heard the theme song, the title of this song that I'm playing, it ain't DJ request line, it's called Work It. You want the magic comes from work. Why? Here's how I developed magic. It was meeting after meeting that I had done. It was no show after no show that I had. It was yes after yes that I experienced. It was no after no after no that I experienced. It was maybe after maybe after maybe I experienced. And when I took all of that and I connected the dots and saw what was common amongst all of those meetings, I start to learn people. And when I started to learn people, I started being able to say, okay, I know what's about to happen. Why? It's happened to me 50 times before. And so if I don't want that result, let me change what I'm going to say here, because this word that I use caused them to have a red flag. This word that I use caused them to raise their eyebrow. This word that I use caused them to sit up like this. And when they set up like that, I said, maybe I'll use a little bit more of those words. When I would beg them to join the business, they'd do like this. When I tell them I'm not here to sign any of you up, then they did like this. See, in the beginning, when I needed people, when I needed them, I begged them. And I started to understand they needed me. And when I started to understand they needed me, I got the magic. And so guess what everybody does when you know magic? They come and watch you perform. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what all of you have the ability to do. You've got to develop the magic. P, you've got to have perseverance. You've got to press on. It doesn't matter if somebody tells you no sideways. Go out there and do the next one. You've got to make sure that you press on, that you have perseverance. How do you have perseverance? Put yourself in position so that you have opposition. You want to put yourself in position so that you have opposition. There is no perseverance without opposition. And so when somebody tells you no, that means that you're building your perseverance quotient. That means that you're building that comeback philosophy that you have. Some of you right now, somebody tells you no and you think, okay, well, maybe this business doesn't work. No, it's supposed to work. It is supposed to work. Take a baseball player. Take baseball players right now, these guys who've gone out there and got these $250 million contracts. Guess what? They get no's at a rate of 3-1. What do I mean? None of those guys bat over 350. That means out of 10 times going up to bat, they're going to strike out about 6.5 times. 6.5 times they're going to strike out. You mean to tell me that I can fail almost 7 out of 10 times and get a $250 million contract? But here's what they do. Here's how they persevere. Swing after swing, strike after strike, strikeout after strikeout. They still go up to the plate and they swing again. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't get paid sitting on the sidelines. You got to go up there and persevere. You've got to be intriguing. You've got to be intriguing. You've got to be inspiring. You've got to have insight. You've got to make sure that you give and get input. All of those things are things that you must do when you're building this business. Let's talk about being intriguing. What do I mean by intriguing? Don't give your business away. Give your boomerangs away, but take it away sometimes. When I'm talking to people, and I'll use this here on I, it's also called the invite. When I use the invite with and I use the invite, I don't make the business seem too easy or sound too easy. What I do with my is my invite is I take it away every now and then. What I'll do is I'll call them up and say, hey, listen, you know what, Joe? Joe, let me ask you a question. Hey, I was giving you a call, a quick second. Yeah, Joe says, yeah. Hey, listen, do me a favor, Joe. Make sure you don't have anything around right now because what I got to talk to you about is really important. Joe, listen, I don't have a lot of time, but let me ask you a question. Okay? Are you familiar with the current state of affairs with Uber and Lyft and all of these different matchmaker platforms like Facebook and stuff like that, Airbnb? Yeah. Let me ask you a question. If you knew what you knew today about them and 15 years ago you had the opportunity to invest, would you have done it? Yeah. Joe, listen, those opportunities are gone, but listen, my partners and myself have been connected to the biggest and the next Airbnb and Uber combined. Now, Joe, listen, I don't even know if you'll qualify to work with these guys, but I was thinking about you. I'm having a private call on Thursday night. Can you cancel what you've got and listen in? Joe's gonna be like, yeah. Well, what is it all about? Joe, listen, that's why we're gonna have the call. Joe, there's quite a few people who qualify for this call, so I don't wanna make any promises to you whatsoever because you may not even qualify. But what I recommend you do is why don't you get you and your wife, listen in. I've only got 15 lines available, but I've got about 40 other people who would like to be on there. If something happens and you can't make that call, you need to let me know 24 hours in advance because that seat is very valuable. I'm giving it to you right now. All right, I'll be on there. See you, Joe. Make sure you bring your pen and your pad, and I want you being on there listening on. No time for questions right now. I'm intriguing. They're like, wow. See, when I first started, hey, Joe, I'm so glad Joe answered the phone is what I'm saying to my mom. Hey, Joe, I got this business, and you and your wife, you guys will be good at it because it's so easy. And all we do is we sling these boomerangs around and all this kind of, and listen, you know what? I'll even pay your way. Would you come and be my guest? I'll pay you. I'll come pick you up and bring you to the meeting. That's what I used to do. No intriguing. Nothing was intriguing whatsoever. Okay? Nothing was intriguing. whatsoever. So you've got to make sure that you've got an intriguing component to what it is that you're doing. Don't just give it away so easy. Make sure that you keep their interest. Keep their interest. Now, let's talk about, you got to do the opposite. Here's what I've learned. I've learned that you observe the masses and do the opposite. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Do you know that the majority of the people in our company, our beautiful, incredible company, the majority of the people in our company haven't registered for the diamond experience? The majority have. Do you know the majority of the people are thinking, well, I don't know what's going to happen with Corona. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the masses. I will wait until the airline tickets are the most expensive. Even when we said anybody who buys a ticket and we have to move it, shift it, we're going to have it. We may have to move it, shift it, do what we got to do. And we'll shift it, do whatever we got to do, and nobody will lose any money. So I've seen tickets now as cheap as $49. But you know what the majority of the people do? They buy high and sell low. You got to do the opposite. I looked at what happened in the stock market. I got my report. It comes across on my phone over here. I take a look at it every day when I'm watching the markets. And I watched the markets were in red all day yesterday. And I saw 3,000 points falling yesterday. And everybody, the market says, wow, it's falling. Let me pull it out. Let me pull it out. Let me pull it out. But why do you think that the top 3% of the people in the world owns the majority of the wealth? They own more than the other 97%. Do you think it's because they joined the other 97%? No, they do the opposite of what they do. Right now, things are on sale. Do you believe that the stock of whatever company that you're looking at right now is going to be exactly where it is 1 year later, 2 years later? No, it's not the time right now to be so conservative. It is not the time to set up in your cocoon. Why do you think we set up Top Gun University, set up all of these calls? We're doing the opposite. Most people are shutting down. Most people have taken their operating hours, and I understand that. I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way. But most people have said, you know what? We're going to reduce our operating hours. I wanted to go eat out last night. The restaurant closed at 9 o'clock. Why? We're reducing their operating hours. What is iBoomerang doing? Increasing our operating hours. Why? Because it doesn't matter if this lasts 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. We will be in shape. We won't be getting ready to get ready when the world sees that it's okay to come outside. Okay? When the world sees that the sky really didn't fall. We will be in shape. This is why we have a concept called basic training. Basic training means you are getting ready for competition. This is an opportunity where we're going to just rocket ship past anything that we ever thought. Why? You're getting ready. You're getting ready. See, every time something happens, every time a challenge happens, there's an equal and opposite reaction that can take place. When something bad happens, something great is about to start. When something bad happens, some opportunity is about to open up. And that's what we're doing right now. We're taking advantage of it. Okay? We're taking advantage of it right now. I gave you guys a little clue. I told you, Vegas is where Vision is going to be. I saw rooms for $44 per night, but here's what the majority of the people will do. They will wait until that room is $400 a night, playing it safe, and that's why most people don't get ahead in life, because they join the masses. They join the crowd. They are joiners. I'm not a joiner. I'm a leader. That's what you are. That's what basic training is all about. You leading. You leading. I saw the Vidara Hotel, 5-star hotel. It was the very first hotel that I stayed in when I went to meet David Manning. It's $100 per night. $100 per night. Why not buy and hold? It's an investment. Some of you are like, man, maybe I should invest in the stock market, but I don't have enough money. Let me ask you a question. If you could take $100 and save $200, which means that you earn 300% of your money, it's no different than investing in Apple stock, waiting for it to triple. It's the same. But sometimes we want major home runs. Ladies and gentlemen, becoming a millionaire is not about hitting a home run. That's called the lottery. It's about base hits, little small adjustments, adjusting your philosophy here, adjusting your philosophy here, not spending too much here, making a profit over here, making a profit over here. I invest in this particular seminar, and I'll make sure if I spend $1,000 between airline, hotel, and tickets, when I spend $1,000 or invest $1,000, what is my time frame to get my investment back? So if I invest $1,000 and I go out there and I make $1,500, I just made a 50% return within 90 days. Ask any investor, how long does it normally take to get a 50% return? Do you know that the average successful investor profits about, if you can get 10% per year, you're knocking it out of the park. You're knocking it out of the park. But so many of us don't understand small wins. The person who wins, or the company or the team who wins the World Series, is not the one who has the most home runs. It is the one who gets on base the most. That means small base hits. You've got to observe the masses. Observe, and do the opposite. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish with N. You got to do it now. Right now. You got to do now. You want to be a champion? Now. Now is the time. Not next week. Not when CNN tells you. Now. You want to be a diamond? Act like one right now. You want to be a ruby? Act like one right now. Don't wait. Anybody can wait, but do it right now. It's your time, like right now. This is when you got to do it. Have a now philosophy. In the office, we have what's called the win philosophy. W-I-N. What's important now? What's important now? What's important now? Why? Because we've got to tune in to what's happening right now. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been your captain. This is your CEO. You have put in the request on the request line on your morning inspirational call. And I have had an absolutely infectious time inspiring each and every one of you. But here's what I want you to know the most. The person who got inspired the most, you're looking at him in the screen right now. You set the example of inspiration, you become inspired. I can't wait to see you guys on the rest of these calls. And tomorrow as well, our inspirational call will kick off again, and you're gonna have another round of something unique, something different from one of our top leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, this is HB, your captain, signing off.
HB.
Can't wait to see you on the beaches of the world. I'll pass it back over to my right hand, T Greasy in the house, and MK.
HB, you are a beast, bro. I had to stay muted because I was over here screaming every time you threw out another letter.
Well, I hope I spelled champion right.
Yeah, you know what? When you put an A in trust, I'm like, I don't really care what he's spelling. It's good.
Awesome, awesome.
I just want to say this. You never know who's going to be on.
You never know.
These calls are awesome. And we were even lighting up the chats over on WhatsApp. So thank you. Thank you so much for this, Mr. Uggs.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going back and my work day from home Tuesday. You see, I still have my robe on and I got my iBoomerang pajamas on. And I am your captain, over and out. See you guys.